is Townsend. I am doing the UAL Level 3 Diploma in Performance and Production Arts Acting. This is my context video for the Year 1 Christmas John Lewis adverts acting assignment brief. This is my context video. Identify your own needs as a contemporary actor and how this will influence your work on this project. What are the weak skills identified on your skills audit and how will you work to improve on these? Recently, I have noted that a weakness of mine includes time management. I have found myself unmotivated to do the work and unable to stay focused on the task, and I end up not having enough time to do the work. This is a skill I feel as though I will be working on for a long time, and I need to do a lot of work towards achieving this goal. This is my main target for this project. I'm going to work on this by aiming to complete at least 30 minutes a day of coursework and by setting myself to-do lists each week. I will reward myself with various prizes each week. I would also like to be able to improve my movement and gestures in order to improve my acting abilities and to understand how to improve on these, and to then be able to use these in my potential future career as an acting teacher. I'm aiming on improving this by filming myself working on this skill as part of my rehearsal journal for my Christmas piece. I will look into ways people walk when they are annoyed and frustrated, as that is how my character is feeling in my performance, with Matthew as my director. In feedback previously given to me, I was told I need to set a script earlier on the production process. This is going to allow me to be able to refine my blocking faster and makes me more able to work on my body language and gestures a whole lot more. So I'm going to be working with my director in order to try and get my script sorted earlier on in the process so that we have more time to work on our movement. What prior knowledge do you have of acting skills for stage and screen, and what steps will you take to develop this knowledge? Some prior knowledge I have of acting on stage is that it can be easy to lose your audience's attention and that they can easily become bored. You must find a way to keep them engaged, usually with body language and speech. It is also very easy to lose the volume of your projection, meaning that they might not be able to understand you and or cannot follow along with the story, which is why body language is so important, because often as long as you have good body language, and the audience can still understand the storyline, even if the projection is low. I'm eager to learn more about stage acting throughout this project. I unfortunately do not have much screen acting experience, so working on the Christmas piece directed with Lydia will help me to gain some knowledge. I know that with screen it is very important to block the scene to ensure that you are in shot of the camera at the right angles, etc. Projection is often less important for screen, as they are more likely to have mics and the camera will be closer to us, and then you will have a shorter amount of time to learn less lines, whereas on stage you will often be given months to learn huge scripts. I wanted to complete some research about the differences between screen and stage acting to help me gain further insights into this knowledge. Who are your directors and what styles will they be working in? Are they focusing on a particular practitioner? If so, who? And are they initially planning to apply the stylistic characteristics? What is your current experience with these styles/practitioners, and what do you need to do to ensure that you know what you need to take on the acting role successfully? I'm going to be performing in 2 acts. One is directed by Matthew. This piece will be a comedy with emotional undertones. He's looking on focusing on Brecht. Many of Brecht's performances have a political message to them. He often used placards to explain to the audience what was going on and help them to remember that it was only just a show. This was often needed due to the political message within his performances. Matthew has had ideas to use placards within the performance to incorporate this. When studying drama at pt1 Level 2, I studied Brecht and his techniques, so I do have an understanding of his styles and his ideas of how the audience should be reminded that it is a show and not real life, even though his topics were often controversial. I need to ensure I look into Brecht a little bit more and explore some of these ideas. I will encourage Matthew and give him creative ideas for his piece to be able to incorporate these successfully. For my second act, Lydia will be my director. She'll be using styles from both Berkoff and Brecht. She wants to use Brecht's way of having representational characters, where the costume suggests certain things, but it will never actually say it in the text. For example, someone might have a builder's hat on, which would suggest to the audience that they are a builder. However, it would never clearly state that they are a builder. And in Berkoff's use of chorus, and that would be very impressionistic, abstract, and strange in ways. I need, in order for me to do this successfully, I need to do more research on Berkoff in particular. I have already got experience with Brecht, and Berkoff I'm not as familiar with, so I would like to have more understanding and research behind me about him. What do you know about your director's visions for their piece? I know that Matthew's visions include it being a comedy with emotional undertones. He wants it to be a positive ending piece about a political subject, but we don't want it to come across too political. It should be very comedic to take away the strong political message of the vaccine. The storyline for the piece is to have someone trying to go into a shop in summer months and it's closed due to the COVID restrictions. They then try again a few months' time and it's still closed. They try one final time and then it gets announced that there's a vaccine coming out. It's a Christmas miracle. There's mixed feelings going around, and in the end they decide to just all be friends, ready for Christmas. Lydia's visions are for there to be lots of physical theatre in her piece. Her initial thoughts when discussing as a group whether it would be about a boy leaving his mum at home on Christmas Eve and is going to see his dad and meet his new stepmum for the first time on Christmas. It will be from the perspective of the young boy. There will be screen and stage used in this piece. What are the societal issues being explored in your director's pieces? We are exploring the societal issues, including the way people view COVID and the feeling behind the restrictions and the vaccines. We are looking into different beliefs in the vaccine and how society feels. We are trying to make this performance light-hearted and funny so that it draws the attention away from the strong political message. We've discovered that society has been split into many different options about the COVID vaccine, including how fast it came out, some of the side effects which have been mentioned, if we don't actually know what's in it. On the other hand, some people think it's the most wonderful thing to happen and life couldn't have gone on without it, when some people are just confused. Lydia's piece is going to be about how not every family can be together on Christmas and how we should be grateful for any bonds we have. The tagline will be, I couldn't give you the gift of life, but God gave me the gift of you. Who is your target audience and what are their needs? My target audience is, well, really everyone. The tickets are free and we are just asking for a donation towards the college. They want to be made to feel festive and merry. The act should be uplifting and inspirational. There are no age barriers. We have to take into consideration any accessibility needs for it. For example, less able to walk far or go up steps, possibly for extra spacing at the front row if needed. Hard of hearing, will there be a scribe available for them? Is it visually pleasing so they can still enjoy the show without being able to hear it? This is a conversation we need to have with the group to make it clear where people need to go. We'll have a one-way system leading them into the bar and then into the theatre. There will be free mince pies and a hot chocolate /tea/coffee available to all audience members. What resources do you think you will need? As a group, we will need paint and boards to make signs and Christmas decorations to make the hallway visually appealing for the audience. We will need studio space to rehearse and a theatre to perform in. Each group will need a director, props, costume and set. My group with Matthew in particular will need the cage used in the horror walk to symbolise the shop being closed, a shop sign, which we will make ourselves, and Christmas decorations and protest signs. What research and placards? What research have you done and will you need to do to support you in creating towards the piece? What do you know about the stimuli topic already? I have watched and annotated 5 different journalist adverts, including The Man on the Moon. We looked at how they made us feel, what thoughts came into our minds when watching these. As a group, we discussed the events that have happened in the news this year and how society have felt about these events. I will upload a photo of this onto my site. We have looked into the different views of the different views people have had on the vaccine, some being positive and some being negative. This has helped us to begin creating scripts for the piece, as we can include some of the actual things people have said. What skills have you developed through previous projects to support you now? In the horror walk, I gained many valuable skills and knowledge that I can use to my advantage. I gained knowledge on how to play 2 contrasting characters in a short space of time. I used my voice to portray characters well. I had to understudy somebody at the last minute, which allowed me to gain experience learning scripts in a short space of time. I had to adjust costumes and makeup so that it would work for my characters. Therefore, I had to learn how to sew, which I found very difficult. I applied and gave critical feedback. I worked closely with multiple technicians to gain what I wanted for my scene and then assisted with others. And I had direct contact with audience members. I can use all of these things to assist me with this next project. I will need to learn my lines fast, ready in time for my first performance. Therefore, my experience with understudying will help me with that. I will also need to communicate with technicians to explain what my director is wanting to happen to see if that is achievable. Thank you.